Hi everybody, I'm Tim Bulot and welcome to WeaponsAcademy.com. This is episode 2 of our ammo shortage video series, and with that we're at about 2 weeks into somewhat of a national shelter-in-place with the coronavirus outbreak that we've had here, and still there's not a lot of ammo on the shelves, if any at all, and the prices are still extremely high in the box houses and on the online shopping spots that we all generally go to get our ammunition. So once again, the theme behind this series is we're going to share some of our favorite drills, or maybe some unique drills with you that you can practice with a minimum amount of ammo. In this particular exercise, we're going to look at strong side, support side, barricade shooting. Now, this drill is not meant to be the end-all be-all of barricade shooting and cover and concealment. There's a whole lot more to it than what we're going to cover here, but we're just looking at one method, one brace method of maybe taking some longer range shots, okay? And again, working more on those fundamentals as opposed to rapid fire drills where we're working on multiple hits and at the same time use a minimum amount of ammunition. As this situation prolongs, it seems to become more and more important that we want to maintain our self-defense skills, okay? And so throughout this series, we're going to continue to try to bring to you certain exercises that, you know, even if you can't get out to the range, if you're somewhat of an experienced shooter, just by absorbing the information in the video, you're still going to get a training benefit out of it. This particular drill, you can do it at an outdoor range. You could even possibly do it at an indoor range. A lot of the indoor ranges have the swing out saloon doors on each side of the shooting bays that can serve as barricades and allow you to support your hand like what we're doing in the video. So hang with us and enjoy the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. We'll get back to you on that, and we'll see you at the end of this to kind of recap strong side, support side, barricade shooting. Okay, so in this next drill that we're going to run, once again, we're here in the midst of the coronavirus lockdown, shelter in place, whatever you want to call it. It's been an ammo run on ammo, so we're trying to conserve, but at the same time, we want to maintain our skills. And then again, here in North Texas, we've been dealing with record amounts of rain all the same. So the ground is saturated, standing water everywhere. So just to kind of keep our equipment, you know, a little bit on the clean side, we're working off the patio, and as you can see, we've got a picnic table kicked up on its side here, and we're going to use this for a barricade in this particular drill. So in this drill, we're only going to fire 2 rounds, and we are going to utilize a combat reload between rounds, okay? So we're going to go one strong side barricade, and then we're going to reload as we change sides, and the other one's going to be a support side, guard side, weak side, whatever you want to call it, barricade. Now that's for Terry and I, because we're both right-handed shooters. If you're left-handed, it'll be the opposite. So one right side barricade, one left side barricade. Now starting out, after I do my combat reload, I'm going to change hands for now, and I think Terry's going to do the same thing. And we're going to talk about our shooting styles as we go through this. Now we've got our target set at 12 yards and at 15 yards. And for me, by bracing into that barricade, especially when I go to shooting with my support hand, with my left hand, because I'm not as good, okay, with my left or my right. That support helps me to steady that weapon and have that positive impact. So let's go through it. We'll explain some of the dynamics of the drill as we take you through it.
Tim, I'm looking at starting with from a high ready.
Right.
And then when I've got threat, I'm going to push out, support.
Let me get that hand brace. Hold right there, Terry. Nice and tight, because that's one thing we're going to talk about is that brace right there. A lot of people don't like that. Have you found that out? They say, well, the gun's protruding beyond the barricade, and it might give you away to a bad guy. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I understand that, but I also know that I'm more accurate. I'm braced.
Solid.
My body is, if I draw a line, my body, my support, my right foot is not outside the barricade.
Now, when I do that, Terry, I'm actually pressing the back of my hand into the barricade. Are you doing the same?
I am.
Getting that good counter pressure. It's almost as good as a bench rest, I found.
It's pretty close.
Right.
It locks you right in.
I agree with you also. The odds of me getting disarmed at that angle in that situation, if anything, it's going to scare the shit out of somebody who may be on the other side of that barricade. That's astronomical. And I think between all your years and my years, I don't know of that happening. So anyway, so take it to the next level. We're going to use the barricade for full cover and concealment as we execute our reload, because we've got to move.
I'm switching hands. Same thing. I'm going to lean out. I'm going to press into the barricade and take my shot.
And do you find by switching hands like that, Terry, that allows you to limit the amount of exposure to your threat?
It does. If I came at this out of ammo, if I came at this with my right hand, I may not have the angle. I may not be able to get the brace on the barricade to this side, and I may push more of my body outside the cover of the barricade. So for me, with that target and this angle, it lets me keep more of my body behind the barricade.
Well, that's a good foundation, so I say we just run with that for a bit. Okay, as Terry explained, I like to slide up with my strong leg forward as I unholster. And what that does for me is it allows me to index the outside of the barricade. So I don't extend any more than what we just discussed. Again, I like that pressure with the back of the hand against the barricade that allows me to stabilize, take my shot, and I'm going to utilize as I cover, and I'm going to switch. Now it's going to be the opposite on this side, okay? I'm going to index with my left leg this time, drive the back of the hand into that, allows me to index, make my shot, and that's the end of the drill. So we're working a variety of different fundamentals on this, okay? Again, taking advantage of the barricade and the support from the barricade. We found that it works on us. So this is more of a braced barricade as opposed to a step out or a lean out, and they all have their uses. I found for me that shooting targets at further distance, that brace makes a huge difference.
Okay, so kind of tapping off what you were saying, Tim, you know, indexing, bracing.
Let me get your foot there, Terry. I'm going to show them what we're talking about. You see that right leg doesn't, if you draw an imaginary line from where his thread is, that keeps the body, okay, in check. All right, I'm back on you.
All right, so we take that shot, come back to do my mag change. As I'm moving over and I switch hands, I'm actually going to take a longer shot this time, allowing me to keep more of my body behind the barricade. And by being braced, I'm more stable with my non-dominant hand.
Okay, so you went on red that time.
Yes, sir, I did.
And that's a 25-yard shot.
Yes, sir.
So that's good practice, and it probably felt easy, right?
Actually, it was pretty safe, or pretty solid.
Yeah.
So,
I like the brace. I mean, just depending on the situation, time. In this case, it's just practice and going with that theme of making every shot count.
Well, and think about taking a 25-yard shot with your non-dominant hand.
Yeah, it's a good challenge.
You know, having the ability to brace yourself and stabilize out makes you more accurate, more likely to get that first round hit.
Well, let's run a few.
Yes, sir. So,
strong side, support side, right side, left side, brace shooting. Stand by. Okay, and I went on that 25-yard red that time also, and yeah, nothing to it. When you're braced, it's actually, without a doubt, I think it's an easier shot than a freestanding shot.
And it was a good solid center mass hit.
Yeah, you know, in a lot of our qual courses, they have that 25-yard shot, and they allow you to use barricade, and it's kind of almost a standard in law enforcement. But we're just doing it out here to reinforce it, because we're guilty of not practicing some of those old fallback techniques for a while. Good enough. One shot right side, one shot left side. Stand by. Threat. Nice, good solid impact on that 25-yard shot.
Stand by. Threat.
Well, we got an immediate action drill for free out of that one.
We did.
Yeah, that was actually a support hand immediate action drill.
And so, that's good training, but you had the barricade to work off of.
I'll take it. So what happened is when that actually happened, Terry, you saw me pull out and limit my exposure, use a barricade to conceal me. I executed the immediate action drill, and then I eased back out and took the shot, just like with the original shot all over again.
Push back on target.
Yeah, so once again, just going back to the fundamentals.
Use the cover and concealment to your benefit.
Good enough. Shooter ready?
Shooter's ready.
Stand by. Threat!
Yeah, so one of the things that I noticed, and I think it brings up the importance of what you say about getting full contact when you're on the barricade, is I found myself trying to rush the shot a little bit, and what I wound up with was full knuckle contact on the barricade, and so I had a point of contact, but it's not as stable as getting locked in.
And it's almost like what we say is you don't want hard on hard. So what happens when you get that knuckle on there, it's almost like a marble on a hard surface. It can move around. That's why we say when you're shooting in various shooting positions, like in our rifle class, don't get the point of the elbows on your kneecaps ever, okay? But by getting the back of the hand up there, you've got a flat, softer surface on the hard surface, and there is the...
It's kind of like locking that flat piece of bone
there's the stability. But, then again, when you start pushing yourself for time, I mean, we're not going to get it perfect every time. You still made the shot, you still made the impact.
Sure, but you notice a difference in stability.
And you had to think about it a little bit more.
Yes.
And so forth. But still a good, excellent point, getting the flat of the hand against the flat of the barricade.
Again, it sets you up for success. And it's those little details, I guess kind of like when you're doing martial arts. You're doing the small details over and over and over to perfection, so that they don't become something you have to think about. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Okay, now I'm in the right spot.
So there's more to the drill than just setting up a table and shooting. We've actually got some fundamentals that we're refining here in this process.
Stand by. Threat.
Stand by. Threat. Nice. That was solid, wasn't it?
It was. It was much better. I wasn't on knuckles. Wasn't on knuckles. So it made a difference. And it was just concentrating, no one coming over, that I was going to get that flat, solid mass on the barricade, and then push out at the longer target, the 25 yard.
Okay, so I'm gonna steady on that 40-yard target. Now, here's the thing, Terry, is here I don't have a flat surface because of the angle of the barricade.
Right.
Because I have to conceal my body, so I'm basically on a ridge right there. So I'm shooting left-handed off of a ridge, which is going to increase mobility. So what I'm going to do to really bear down on this is I'm going to close that right eye and go left only.
There you go.
Okay, so I was 1 and 1 on that one. Okay, so yeah, it's something that, a 40-yard shot, a little bit of mobility right there, support-handed. It'd almost be worth experimenting. Say, let's do it without support and then with support and see what works out better. Just options, taking time to go through them, to exercise them.
Well, it comes back to the same thing. If you don't shoot non-dominant hand, you're never going to be perfect at it, but you get more comfortable.
Yeah.
So it takes the mystery out of shooting non-dominant hand. So
something I tell my students is I went through a period of about 2 years where I tried to balance my practice between, my strong side and then my support side, to where I would try to shoot the equal amount of rounds. And for me, my support side didn't improve that much.
You just got more comfortable with the idea.
But it didn't improve. Yeah. It didn't, and I'm not solid with my left hand doing other things like sports. I can't bat left-handed. I can't throw a baseball left-handed or any of that. I would say I improved some over that period of time, but I didn't get to the point where my left hand would even come close to being a replacement for right-handed shooting. It just
Mine
wasn't.
either. I think it becomes a comfort level so that you're not trying to decipher in your brain, where's my hand going to go, where's my dominant hand going to go,
Right.
and slowing you down. There's just a comfort level.
And, you know, to me, Terry, my thought is it's almost worth, if I get a little bit more exposure toward the threat, but I gain a lot more marksmanship, that's almost a trade-off that I'll take. But by maintaining and still doing drills like this, you know, and this is something we can get into a little bit later, close range fighting in a disabled or disadvantaged position, right. I know that I can fight through it with my left hand. Right. At least, you know, depending on the extent of my injuries.
Well, you know, or even just think about, you know, you go to the grocery store with your family. Maybe they're to my right side, and I'm tied up, and now I'm stuck with
right.
non-dominant hand. So I need to be able to employ the firearm with my non-dominant hand.
And they're
at some level of comfort.
That's a very likely scenario with everything that's going on.
Right.
So in this training session, I think I might have used 20 rounds per drill. Okay. And that's not bad when 9mm is pushing $1 a round at some places. And also, how often do we actually take time to isolate that support side and work on situations like barricade shooting in corners? So you could apply this in a number of real world situations. Okay, an active shooter situation, maybe that corner or that object that you're bracing into would give you the opportunity to make that longer range brace shot, okay, with minimum exposure of yourself to the threat. So, like we said in the beginning, this lesson was not meant to be everything that there is about cover and concealment. It's only a small slice. But anyway, take this to the range with you. I hope we gave you some ideas where you can practice a drill that utilizes a lot of the fundamentals and at the same time does not utilize a lot of ammunition. If you're not training, you ought to be. And if you're not training at Weapons Academy, come see what we're doing. Y'all stay safe out there, stay healthy, and we'll see you in episode 3.